Hey guys, it's Bina. Today I want to present to you my guide for the Pulverize Shapeshifter Druid, which is in my opinion, one of the best starter builds and even endgame builds in the game for Druid right now. It is absolutely a blast to play. You'll send pulverized shockwaves all over the place. You don't need any uniques. You don't need any aspects that are drop only. You could maybe use one, but like 99% of them are just regular CODEX aspects. Since we get the shockwave from the season journey in this season. So chapter 2 rewards you with the shockwave aspect. So you'll get that in your CODEX. As you can see, we will be reaching movement speed cap. We're going to be basically blasting very, very fast. We're going to have more unstoppable uptime than Grizzly Rage. That is with Earthen Bulwark and Trample. Both of these giving you access to unstoppable. And yeah, I guess it's really, really fun to play. And I want to show you guys exactly how to play it. So here we are on Maxroll. I've done 2 planners for this. This has been requested from some people in the comments below. So I've done one on D4builds and I've done one on maxroll.gg. I personally prefer the one on Maxroll, but I can understand if some people prefer it on D4builds. It doesn't take me much more time to do both of these, so I'll just have like both of these links in the description of the video below. But yeah, so basically let's go over the aspects. What we're going to be using on our helm is going to be damage from earth skills slows enemies. This will be enabling us to have access to spirit with the aspect of the Umbral here, restoring spirit when you crowd control an enemy. So this will enable us some synergies with that, and also some other synergies in our skill tree to get even more damage. Gaining disobedience here on the chest piece. So basically armor, this is pretty straightforward. Armor is the best damage mitigation stat in the game at the moment. So we want to be stacking a lot of it and want to be getting as close to 13k armor for Nightmare Dungeons 100. If you want to go for a damage option, there's also the unique there's also a unique option that you can do. It's going to be Insatiable Fury, which will give you more damage with your werebear skills. So if you want to just do some speed farming, you can go Insatiable Fury. If you want to be tanky, you want to go with Disobedience. On your gloves, you want to go with Core Skill, increase your attack speed by 25%. This is the only aspect that is basically is not in the Codex. Although you don't need this for it to be playable, it's just it increases your attack speed. So attack speed is a damage multiplier, so you will do more damage per second if you have this. On our pants, we'll go for the duration of Earthen Bulwark is increased. So this will increase the duration that we can be unstoppable, and then every kill replenishes some of your active barrier with Earthen Bulwark. So basically, it's kind of like a life on kill, but like barrier on kill. So this will enable us to be even more tanky and have unstoppable for an even greater time. On our boots, we go for movement speed. While unstoppable, we gain movement speed and we move freely through enemies. This will give us phasing. And yeah, a lot of movement speed to be able to reach movement speed cap. On our weapon, we're going for a 2-hander to double the power of our pulverized shockwave aspects, dealing 200% of its damage to all of the targets in its path. Basically, pretty straightforward. On our amulet, we get 1.5 times the value of any aspect we put on here. So we're going to put core skill up to 60% increased damage based on your amount of fortify. This will increase our damage dramatically. Yeah, and this is pretty much just a damage increase, and we will be getting fortify very easily with our bolster here for whenever we use a defensive skill, and we have 2 defensive skills in Blood Howl and Earthen Bulwark, so that is why we put this here. On our ring, first ring, we go Pulverize and also an Earth skill. This will enable us a lot of synergies in the skill tree and with our aspects, so that's why we put this here. And then Umbral will give us resources whenever we crowd control an enemy, and we're always crowd controlling with Earth skill slows. So this is why we have this here. This in the end game, this might not be necessary, but it will make the build feel very, very good for like basically having no resource problems. So if you don't feel like you have resource problems, you can replace this with another offensive aspect. But in the meantime, I highly suggest playing this, because as long as a build is functional and feels good to play, you will have fun with it. And if you ever get in situations where you're like kind of struggling with resource, it will not feel very good. So that is it for the aspects. Now if we go for the spirit boons, we go with weariness for reduced damage from elites. In here, we can go with pretty much anything. You can go for crit damage. This, keep in mind, Avian Wrath is still additive crit damage, so just flat 30%. Swooping attacks give us attack speed, maximum life if we're pushing it. Like, for example, Nightmare Dungeons 100, maybe we want to go for 40% maximum life. And increased critical strike chance is also another good damage option. I decided to go with attack speed because it just feels better. It makes the build feel good. Here we go for bolster for 15% of maximum life. We fortify for 15% when we use a defensive skill. So we have 2 of those. So it's going to be very, very easy to keep our fortify up. This is basically the only fortify that you need in the entire build. And then masochistic with calm before the storm. This is just for like even more healing. And then calm before the storm will restore your petrify cooldown. And as we will see with the hearts, petrify will keep all enemies towards you. It will basically grab all of the distant enemies and pull them towards you every like 1 second or 2 seconds. And this will just make it, it's a really, really good ultimate because it freezes everything. It turns everything to stone, and then it brings everything up towards you, gives you infinite resource, because as long as you're killing stuff, you're getting 25 spirit back per kill. And yeah, with this heart, the heart of the well, it doesn't say the name here, but anyways, the up to 50 distant enemies are pulled toward you while they have an ultimate skill active. This is just one of the best hearts, I believe, for the druid right now. We go with another heart here after spending 200 of your primary resource, but this can actually go down to like 150. Your next attack stuns enemies for 10 seconds. Like 10 seconds is a really long stun, and we do spend 200 of our primary resource way faster than 10 seconds. So in the end game, I think this will be good. There are other options that we could do, but I believe this will be very, very strong. And for our Wrathful gem, for our Wrathful heart, we go with the one that cycles through Malignant bonus every 20 kills. So we get either attack speed, either like infinite resource, or a barrier absorbing damage. There's other ones that we could use, right? One that is very popular is the Cage Heart of the Barber. I don't think it's going to be a problem for damage with this build. So I think we're going to have enough damage to kill everything without needing the Barber at all. And we have like really, really great AoE instead. So that might be a good option. And in here for a defensive option, you could also go for the, which one is it? This one here, Cage Heart of the Revenge. Basically, you suppress 20% of the damage and you then explode, dealing fire damage to nearby enemies, amplified. But this is just like a 20% damage reduction straight up. So it is insanely good for Nightmare Dungeon pushing, for example. For the gear affixes, we want to go on the helmet with total armor, maximum life, all stats, and willpower. Basically, we're trying to get as tanky as possible because whenever we're not dying, we are winning. So that is that for the helmet. For the chest piece, want to go with a lot of damage reduction stats. Most of your damage reduction stats are going to come from your chest and your pants. So damage reduction, total armor, damage reduction from close enemies, and damage reduction while fortified. Keep in mind that total armor, this is additive with disobedience, but it will be multiplicative with total armor while in werebear form. So this will enable us to reach the cap of 13k armor. On our gloves, we go with attack speed, ranks to pulverize, critical strike damage with earth skills, and critical strike chance. On our legs, we go for damage reduction while fortified, total armor while in werebear form, total armor, and damage reduction. On your boots, you want to go with movement speed, all stats, damage reduction while injured, and then I have like damage movement speed after killing an elite for 6 seconds. You can get this either on your boots or on your amulet, but this is just, I'm not quite sure what we will need, exactly how much we'll need to reach movement speed cap. But yeah, I think we will need some of it to reach the absolute cap and like try to get to cap mostly all the time. It will feel very, very good if you have more sources, because we'll have like Earthen Bulwark will give us movement speed, Trample will give us movement speed, Blood Howl will also give us movement speed. But I think once all three of these options are down, if you kill an elite, you also get them boost to movement speed, so you will have more options to reach the actual cap, which is 200%, by the way. On our staff, we go for vulnerable damage, all stats, critical strike damage, and crit damage with earth skills. Basically, you could probably replace one of the crit damage with willpower. I'm not sure which one is actually better for damage. Like maybe willpower should be better, but yeah, basically go with one or the other, whichever one you get. And all stats is mainly to get access to some of the bonuses that you get on rare nodes in your Paragon board. So that's why I decided to go with all stats in certain places. On our amulet, we go with movement speed, total armor while in werebear form, damage reduction, and total armor. On our ring, we want to go with maximum life. So you don't want to get life on your chest or your pants, because the more life you have, the less this has value, because flat life is added after all the multiplicative percentage life bonuses that you have. It just makes them way worse than damage reduction affixes on chest and pants, for example. So that's why we go for only on the rings and on the helmet. So maximum life, vulnerable damage, critical strike damage, and critical strike chance on basically on both of our rings. So that is it for the affixes. Let's now go take a look into the skill tree. For the skill tree, we go with Wind Shear to get access to like vulnerable early on and some movement speed. We go with Pulverize, obviously, and reduce damage for 4 seconds. This will make us like be able to withstand more damage. Here we go with one max on spirit just to get to wild impulses to get 15% increased damage, and your core skill will cost a little bit more spirit, but we should not have any spirit issues. I decided to go with Digitigrade Gate for the movement speed while in werewolf form, and this bonus persists after leaving it. So every time we use Blood Howl, which will reset on kill, you'll get the bonus of movement speed. So that is one way that we can reach the cap as well. And damage reduction while in werebear form. Also getting the 6% crit chance against close enemies. For Earthen Bulwark, we only need the Unstoppable. We don't need any of these extra nodes up here, so only get the Enhanced Bulwark. For Blood Howl, if you're having a resource problem, you can go with Blood Howl Generate Spirit. If you're not having any resources problem, you can go with Preserving Blood Howl. That increases your attack speed for 4 seconds. Here, since we'll be swapping constantly between Wind Shear and Pulverize, because we're a Shapeshifter Pulverize build, we're going to be using Clarity to gain Spirit while transforming into human form. But feel free, if you're having no issues whatsoever with Spirit, to remove these and put them elsewhere. For our rat skills, we're going with Trample. Trample giving us Spirit. Again, like this has been buffed this patch, and it's really, really strong. But if you're having absolutely no problem with Spirit, you can remove this. But I highly suggest actually trying it. And Trample actually does a little bit of damage, especially leveling. So during the leveling process, I highly suggest this. In the end game, we'll see if we actually keep it. Crushing Earth for more damage. Stone Guard for more damage. You go Defiance for damage. You go Natural Disaster for damage as well. And then Resonance for even more damage. So this one will actually triple the bonus because we're always constantly using Wind Shear and Pulverize one after the other. So if an Earth skill is done after a Storm skill, and then Wind Shear is a Storm skill, it gets triple this bonus, so 18% more damage. We go with Quick Shift and for damage, and then Heightened Sense for damage reduction. And here you go with Petrify. So basically, the nice thing about Petrify is that it will freeze everything, grab every single mob that is on your screen, and then you'll just be able to pulverize them with them not being able to do anything to you. So it's just really, really strong offensively and defensively. And for our ultimate, we go with Earthsign Strength. In our Paragon board here, we start out, I like to put Exploit on the first board. Try to get as fast as possible to the Spirit on kill nodes here. So this will make it very, very smooth to play the build. And then as long as you have enough damage to basically one-shot everything, you'll always have some Spirit. go into Ancestral Guidance here. After spending Spirit, you deal 30% increased damage for 5 seconds. Keep in mind that the order that you take the Paragon Boards are important for the bonuses that you get. The rare nodes have a stat bonus that if you can reach, it gives you extra stats, and it increases by the order that you choose your boards. So the number here in the corner is pretty important. So on this board here, we go for Werebear for damage reduction while in Werebear form, and you also deal increased damage while in Werebear form. Our next board is going to be Survival Instinct. Survival Instinct, basically this is kind of like an execute. So if you're 100% life and the enemy is 50% life, you actually gain a 50% damage bonus. So it's just easier to like kill them once they're low in life. We grab a couple of nodes here for damage reduction while fortified. So I really like to put I really like my boards to be pretty tanky. So I go for maximum life wherever I can and whatever damage reduction I can get. On this board, we go for the Shapeshifter. So Shapeshifter will give a bonus to all rare nodes in this range. So this will give a nice bonus to total armor while in Werebear form. So as I said before, total armor while in Werebear form is actually multiplicative with just the regular armor, total armor. So this enables us to actually reach the cap of 13k. So that's why I went with Shapeshifter, and also it's giving us a 20% chance to critically strike when a shape-shifting skill is used, right? So when you actually shape-shift from one form to the other, you get an extra 20% crit chance. Very important. So then you want to go into Earthen Devastation first as our 4th board, and then Thunderstruck, okay? So Earthen Devastation here, we go for more critical strike damage to crowd-controlled enemies. We go with Fang and Claw. So we deal, in Werebear form, close enemies take 12% increased damage from us. And we get access to a couple of nice crit nodes. This one is not so important. Resistances right now in this patch are not that great. But Earthen Devastation, Earth skills deal 30% increased damage to enemies afflicted by crowd control, and they will always be crowd control. We'll go for crit damage to enemies that are crowd controlled here. The next board we take is Thunderstruck. Thunderstruck, we go for maximum life, and we go for these nodes here for the vulnerable damage. It's basically like very powerful, even just for the vulnerable damage there. And we also get some extra nice critical strike damage here. And then our final board is going to be Constricting Tendrils, which we will put Spirit in. Critical strikes increase the damage an enemy takes from you by 2% for 20 seconds, up to 12%. So tanky enemies will get increasingly more damage from you. And then for every 5 decks in range, you deal 10% increased critical strike damage, which is huge. So we're taking as much dexterity as possible while grabbing some life nodes in here and like nature magic skill damage. So this is basically the only one that we cannot reach the bonus for. All the other ones were able to reach the bonuses, even this 4% maximum life. If you have like really good stats on your gear, you will be able to reach it. So that pretty much covers the build. This is the Shapeshifter build that is usable without any uniques, without any aspects that aren't from the Codex. And yeah, I can't wait to actually play with this build way more. And like I said, I also have the Diablo for D4builds.gg all set up as well. Pretty much the same thing. So I hope you enjoyed the guide, guys. And if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to post them in the comments below. You can also join my Discord, which I always answer any questions you might have there. You can tag me, it's fine. And you can also see me on Twitch pretty much every day on twitch.tv/Binasol and ask me questions there. And I hope to see you guys. And I hope you have a very good time playing a nice pulverized build that does not require any uniques whatsoever. Thank you.